Hi, I'm Kevin Klein. By now you've heard that the mayor and his EPC are wanting to introduce multi-year budgeting at the City of Winnipeg, and that's something that I strongly disagree with. In fact, I disagree so strongly that I'll be putting forward a motion later today to stop the multi-year budgeting. Let me tell you why, though. The current budget process, we've learned, is broken, and it lacks any detail whatsoever. In fact, it would be unsound to use it as a template for the next several years. So I'll be putting forward a motion to the mayor and his EPC requesting that they stop the multi-year budgeting, that they immediately implement a core services review and zero-based budgeting involving every member of council. Now, this is because in 2019, when we went through the budget process, we talked about that together, we noticed many departments build in far too many financial cushions. In fact, there were several questionable spending lines that we could never get detail for because the budget lacks credible information, it lacks data, and it lacks any supporting information for the charges that we're seeing and we're putting back to you. So zero-based budgeting is not new, just so you know. In fact, there are many cities across Canada that follow zero-based budgeting. And what that does is it forces every department to qualify and justify every expense, including staff members. And I mean every expense. Every little detail has to be accounted for when we do zero-based budgeting. It's like wiping the board clean and saying, what do we really need to perform? And then we'll know at the end of this if we were overpaying in some accounts, if we were socking money away where we shouldn't have been. All of that will come out in a zero-based budget. And let's be honest, we've been following this same budget process. We did it last term, or we didn't. Council did it last term. The government before that, and before that, and before that. When was the last time you remember ever hearing that the City of Winnipeg was going to do zero-based budgeting? I couldn't find it going back in history. So it is time to do this. It is time for the inclusion of all members of council, and it is time for an open and transparent budget process. The core services review has to include all councillors because those councillors should be taking information back to their constituents, like I take mine back to you. You have a right to know about that. You have a right to put your information forward and your ideas forward. So during the 2019 process, we didn't get that opportunity. In fact, I recall saying, and I was quoted in the media several times, saying that the city doesn't have a revenue problem. We have a serious spending problem. And despite the spin, which goes on an awful lot, taxpayers have told us they don't want to pay more taxes. It's time to listen. We have had hidden taxes for years and years. We can say taxes have only gone up by 2.3% or whatever that might be, but if you look at the 2018 audited financial statements for the City of Winnipeg, you were hit with a 7% increase in city fees, and that doesn't even include how much more you're paying in property taxes. So did you have a tax increase that was substantial? Yes, you really did have one. So this motion is about being reasonable. It's about starting over and fixing years and years and years of problems. It's a legitimate concern that I have for our city's financial future. It's a concern that I've heard from others when I'm out and about. I've heard from accountants, from mechanics. All of them know we have a budgeting problem. So it's time to fix that. So, and if you look through the 2018 audited statements, you will find more and more items that are questionable, and even in the 2019 budget. So it's time for change. A zero-based budget will improve and open up the financial process here at City Hall, which right now is done behind closed doors. I hope you'll support this motion. If you talk to your councillor, talk to other councillors, let them know that you believe the City of Winnipeg needs to have zero-based budgeting so we can truly get an understanding of where your tax dollars are going. If you have any questions or comments, by all means, leave them on social media or send me an email, kevink@kevinklein.ca or kklein@winnipeg.ca. Take care.